You know, I keep trying to make this video, but for some reason, getting it down right eludes me, you know? Maybe it's because it's so warm today. I mean, really, it's not that warm for anybody who isn't from the Northeast, but for me, it's more because it's humid. Not the point, not the point. Quake. Could I have it, please, id? See, after my last video, which got a lot of attention for, for somebody who has no stake on YouTube, I asked on Twitter, hey, what should I do next? And I got a response from good old Darth Status. Pretty sure that's how you say it. It's one of those names you just read in your head. You never really say out loud. Pretty sure that's how you say it. Some names are pretty deceptive. You don't understand. He said, hey, talk about Quake. How there should be another Quake. A new Quake, A real Quake 2, mayhaps. Mayhaps. But there should be. Hey, what can I say? Now that Doom, is sort of done, ish, for a bit at least, there was that stream with Hugo Martin, and, he sort of, elaborated on some things. That's clearly where Doom's going to go next, even though if he didn't say that outright. And apparently there might be some Quake news coming soon. Something mentioned in that interview that's going to happen, or already happened but hasn't been released. I don't know. So good, because Quake is probably the game I would say that needs a reboot, or no, deserves a reboot, a comeback, more than any other game series that I can think of right now. Doom deserved it, and it got it. Now Quake deserves it. Because I think Quake, I think it had just as much impact on the gaming industry as Doom, just it's not seen as much. It was more in a technical sense. Yeah, everyone wanted to be Doom, everything was a Doom clone, everyone wanted to one-up Doom. But Quake, when it came out, everybody wanted the Quake engine, everybody wanted to one-up Quake, Without Quake, we wouldn't have Gold Source. Without Gold Source, there wouldn't be, Half-Life. And without Half-Life, well, there wouldn't be Steam. And without Steam, well, who knows? Things wouldn't be as good. That's for sure. So I think just on that alone, it deserves a comeback for its importance. And also because it's a good-ass game series. Now, it never really got its proper continuation. Quake 1, we get Eldritch Abominations and, Blackstone Castles and all that good stuff. Along with your everyday, your tech base, your, all that. But it was such a good mesh. It was like an inversion of Doom. Doom was sci-fi injected with fantasy. Quake feels more like fantasy injected with sci-fi. And then Quake 2 happens, and it's just sci-fi. Albeit they did keep the theme of you fighting like abominations. First it was like Eldritch Abominations, Shamblers and all, and the like. And then it was alien body horror, techno hell abominations. Abominations all around. That's what we're killing in Quake. Okay? Quake's not Quake without an abomination to kill. And frankly, I think it really deserves to come back. And I know I've said that a few times already, but come on. Like, it could be great. Doom, the new Doom games have already been kind of quakey, and so getting down that part of the gameplay, the base bones shouldn't be very hard. But there is one thing that, they shouldn't play exactly the same. Instead of boosts, Quake needs bunny hops. But there's one thing I think definitely should not be in Quake. And that is glory kills. Now, glory kills work for Doom. Because Doom is, it's fast-paced, but, and the glory kills are fast, and they're punchy, and they're satisfying, and they're a very good mechanic. But I feel that Quake really needs to be very movement-based. And obviously, the new Doom games are very movement-based, but I mean, like, very fluid, like, just going around and around. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, really. I think you know what I mean. Maybe. Probably not. I think that glory kills would interrupt that fluidity. And, yeah, I just don't think Quake... I think Quake would be hindered from it. And I think that the new story of Quake could be perfect. Because you could easily marry the two ideas, aliens, alien body horrors and Eldritch Abominations. So let's say the humans, the Rangers, our Ranger, the Quake Ranger, goes into some weird, Eldritch Abomination pocket dimension through a slipgate. Why is he there? Not just to kill all of those, but to stop the Strogg, the evil alien body horror people, from trying to harness the Eldritch Abomination powers. Would they actually be able to? I mean, probably not, but they're like this hive mind hell-bent on killing us all, so they'll probably accidentally end up destroying the universe along with us and them. So we gotta stop that, so we could fight the Strogg and Eldritch Abominations, and I think those two ideas could be married very easily, and it would create very good diversity in gameplay, aesthetic. One level we're in like this, dungeon filled with shamblers and undead knights, and then the next level we're on a weird, gross techno hell spaceship fighting off Strogg who have stolen some ancient magical artifact. I think it's a very good idea. Keep saying that, and I think especially the multiplayer, because Quake, the reason why it went, Quake 3 was just multiplayer is because the best part to a lot of people, though, the single player has finally gotten the love it deserves. For a long time, people were like, yeah, Quake, single player happened, but the multiplayer. So I think obviously the multiplayer would be a very important part, and I think it would just be great, like a family reunion of Quake ideas, because the multiplayer could play just like Quake 3, and I think that's a great idea. And it should, the last Quake revival was Quake Champions, and it sort of missed the mark completely and utterly. Because, it was a hero shooter, and Quake, online is an arena shooter where, differences between characters come down to model and voice lines mostly, and you pick up weapons that are scattered around the map and you kill each other. Hero shooters are completely opposite. You start with, these weapons because that's your function. That wasn't Quake. It wasn't a good idea, albeit it did have some good ideas. Like, not just including Doom Guy, but including characters like BJ Blazkowicz. I hear it said both ways, Blazkowicz and Blazkowicz. I don't know. Not my problem. Whatever. That was really cool. And also just having all the different armor variants. Very cool. And think about it, they could bring back Crash. Everybody wants Crash to come back. Phobos, he's there. He doesn't get enough love. But nobody talks about Phobos. Not the point. I think it is this is probably the best step id could take next. It could be like how Bethesda works, once every 50 years they drop an Elder Scrolls game, then the next 50 years they drop a Fallout game. It could be like that. Doom, Quake, every, 4 years, because they seem to be a lot more efficient than Bethesda. Bethesda, come on, where's Test 6, man? But anyway, I'm rambling right now, so, Quake, I want it. Give it to me, id. I will pay an exorbitant amount of money, and it would be easier to sell in the collector's edition than a fully modeled Praetor suit helmet? Quake Ranger's helmet. It's just like a squashed Magneto helmet, basically. Just come on.